If you're a teacher, you definitely know the struggle of trying to keep your students engaged. But what if the solution wasn't some new app or a really complicated strategy? What if it was something a lot more fundamental? In this explainer, we're going to dive into the powerful research behind making that personal connection.
Oh, yeah, we have all been there. You look out and you just see it. The blank stares, the pencils tapping, the phone that's just under the desk. It's that classic picture of disengagement. And honestly, it's one of the most frustrating parts of teaching. But what if there was a key to turn this whole scene around?
Well, there is. It's what we're calling the personal connection key. Now, I know it sounds simple, but as we're about to see, the research behind this is actually pretty profound, and the strategies are incredibly effective for creating a classroom that really buzzes with energy. This right here, this is the core idea. It's the big aha moment. Research shows time and again that when students see information as being relevant to their own goals, their own interests, and just who they are as people, their attention is totally captured. It's not about gimmicks, it's about making the material matter to them on a personal level.
And this is the goal, right? I mean, this is what we all want, to move from those blank stares to bright, engaged faces. When information feels relevant, it just sparks this genuine interest and the motivation to learn. It literally transforms the classroom from a place of just passive listening to a real space of active discovery.
So, how do we actually do this? Okay, let's get practical. We're going to look at 4 ways to connect. I want you to think of this as your new toolkit for really powerful but simple strategies you can start using right away to build these personal connections.
Okay, so our toolkit starts with interest surveys to kind of gather some intel. Then we'll move to student learning profiles to understand how your students learn best. After that, we'll cover life connections to build a bridge from your content to their world. And finally, informal linkages to make those connections happen on the fly. Let's break each one down. First up, interest surveys. Think of this as your intelligence gathering mission. It's a simple, short questionnaire, and I mean short, like 10 items max, that you give at the start of the year or a new unit. It gives you an absolute goldmine of information about what makes your students tick.
And just look at the quality of these questions. We're moving way beyond what's your favorite color here. We're asking things like, if you could talk to anyone, living or dead, who would it be? Or what's an interest you have that has nothing to do with school? These are the questions that really start to reveal your students' personalities and their passions.
All right, our second tool is the student learning profile. And this one goes a step deeper. See, this isn't just about what students are interested in, it's about how they actually learn best. It's about letting them tell you about their preferred styles and the conditions where they can really, truly thrive. And you'll see all kinds of differences. Is a student a visual learner who just needs to see the chart? Are they an auditory learner who benefits from hearing you explain it? Or are they kinesthetic? They just need to get up and do something. Do they prefer to work alone or in a group? Knowing this stuff allows you to tailor not just your instruction, but all your classroom activities in some really powerful ways.
Our third tool is called Life Connections. This is where you, the teacher, intentionally plan moments for your students to build a bridge between the curriculum and their own lives. It's all about making that space for them to find the relevance for themselves.
And it doesn't have to be complicated. A simple worksheet just like this can guide the whole process. By asking students to literally map the class content directly to their own life, finding what's similar, what's different, you make that connection super explicit and way more memorable. And our final tool, informal linkages. This is where the real magic happens. This is about using everything you've learned from those surveys and profiles to make spontaneous, in-the-moment connections, verbally linking a student's interest directly to the content right in the middle of a lesson. So, for example, saying something just like this. Robert, you're interested in astronomy, aren't you? What do you think about the information we just read? You see what happens? In that one single moment, the lesson becomes personal for Robert, and everyone else in the class gets to see a real-world connection being made right before their eyes. Okay, so you've got the toolkit, but how do you actually know if any of this is working? That brings us to our third section, making it stick. Let's talk about how you can see the real impact of these strategies in your classroom. You'll start to see it in their behavior. For real, students will begin making these connections on their own without you prompting them. They'll be able to tell you why the class is more interesting to them. You'll literally hear them describe the content as personally relevant. These are the signs that it's working. I want you to think of this as a journey, kind of like what you see on this chart. You might start at the beginning stage, just trying things out. Then you move to developing, where you're using the strategies pretty regularly. But the real goal, the sweet spot, is to get to applying, where you're not just using the tools, but you're actively monitoring their impact on your students' engagement.
So here's the crucial point. It is not enough to just hand out an interest survey and then file it away. The real power comes from using that information and then watching to see if it's making a difference. The goal isn't just the activity, it's all about the impact.
Ultimately, what this all comes down to is a really simple but powerful truth. When you make learning personal, you're doing so much more than just teaching a subject. You are building a genuine connection with a student, and that is where true, lasting learning really happens. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. What's one new thing, just one, that you can learn about one of your students tomorrow? It might just be the key that unlocks absolutely everything.